I'm George Flynn. You're watching In-Depth TV, and we have been talking about how you can help people and help them transform their lives rather than just get some intellect and then forget what you've taught them or told them. Now, my friend Jack Canfield came up with a lot of these ideas. I've studied with him and been to his house, and we know each other pretty well. So these ideas, some come from a whole amalgamation of experiences that I've had in helping people. A lot of people, experts, gurus, go out there and you'll go to a meeting or you'll watch something online or a TED Talk or something, and they present and they teach information and they expect you to take notes, and we all take notes and we all underline things and we all use highlighters and we all say, I'll come back to that someday. Then we put those in a file if we're lucky. Some of us just throw them away. But if we put them in a file, we'll put them on a shelf or in a filing cabinet. And then one day, a year later, 10 years later, you'll go through and say, I wonder what that was all about. And you'll pull out that file and trash it. People that actually make a difference in others' lives, in your life, in my life, they give people what a lot of folks call aha experiences. Now, I've got a friend that runs a group called the AHA Group, and they learn a lot of things, but they have these aha moments like, oh, I never thought of it that way, or, oh yeah. And when you have that aha experience, it's one you just don't forget. Now let's say, and I used to do this as a teenager, I taught swimming. And I taught swimming 8 hours a day, all summer long. And my brothers and I all taught it, and my mother would kind of, run the whole business of it. But we taught swimming. Now, I could sit you down and lecture you on how to swim and the physics of it and how you stay afloat, or I could demonstrate the perfect stroke, the perfect backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle, all the butterfly. We could actually demonstrate the strokes for you. And I could show you a video of the greatest swimmers in the world. As a matter of fact, I could have Michael Phelps come in with all of his gold medals, 23 of them, I believe, and have him motivate you and have him say to you, now this is how you do it. And you would be impressed and you'd be motivated and you'd be taught and you'd know intellectually how to do all of these things. But there's one thing missing. You haven't been in the pool. You haven't had the experience of floating, of swimming, of applying this knowledge that you have now, and that means you'll never have that aha moment. You'll never be able to say, okay, now I can float on my back, now I can float on my stomach, do what we used to call the dead man's float. Now I can tread water. Now I can do the Australian crawl or freestyle. You don't have that moment. You may know a lot about it, but you've never had the moment. Another example. It's one thing to go out and tell people, oh, just be more positive. Oh, just have a better attitude. Oh, you just need to focus on your strengths. Let's find what you're passionate about, and then we will help you find a job with what you're passionate about, and you can live your purpose. Now, you've heard all of these things, but it's completely different to get a group of 5 people and share things from their lives, the successes, and share the successes they want to have in the next 5 years. Or if they do it in the past tense, the successes I had 5 years ago, as if they've already accomplished these things. So it's totally different. They want to see what it's like to experience things and feel what it's like to have success. Then you have other individuals give feedback. This is what it's like. This is what I like about you. Based on what I've learned about you, this is why you're successful. What happens then is that the individual begins to realize, hey, when I share this information, it feels pretty good. I get a lot of great experiences, and I get a lot of great responses. Aha! I think I'll do this more often. People need to see that they're sharing their ideas. They're not going to get rejected. And that's the AHA group my friend runs. He lets everybody share. And some people, not everybody every time, but some people have these aha moments of, oh my gosh, we need to do more of this. And then they go out and do it. Not, we need to do it and then drop it. They go out and actually do something about it. So there's a method of helping people, and we've got to help people in all the dimensions of their life. And you say, well, what are the dimensions? There's the physical, there's the spiritual, there's the mental, there's the dimensions of their life. Most experts, most people that are helping you, most counselors speak towards a person's head, right here, meaning their intellect, their brain. They give data, they give you ways to do things, they give you reasons to do things. But if you're going to really help someone, if you're going to help them go from where they are to where they want to be, it's going to take using all dimensions of the being. Well, you say, what are these dimensions? One is intellect. We're all made up of intellect. So we have to address everything with good content. We can't go online and just find some content and say, okay, we're going to throw together a course about this, or I'm going to learn about this. We've got to have good content, good theory, and up-to-date research. And you say, well, why is this up-to-date research? Well, the reason we have up-to-date research is things change. We know it, you know it, things change. Now, some things remain the same, but I want you to have up-to-date research and know exactly who is teaching you what, and is it valid or not. Then there's the imagination. We've talked about the intellect, now the imagination. This is where this meditation and visualization and goal setting come in. It's about having a dream and trusting yourself. Have that dream. Transformational people, they can implant information into the subconscious so that people can clearly see themselves, and they can see themselves taking positive action and achieving the goals that they seek, which is what all the greatest athletes do. You see them visualizing something, then they'll take positive action and achieve that goal. That is what an athlete does when they sit there and they may close their eyes, but you don't really know what they're doing. They're visualizing. They're visualizing making that leap over the barrier. They're visualizing making a leap further. They're visualizing running a race or winning a race or swimming or diving, playing golf. What athletes do. And if it's good enough for athletes, I think it's good enough for you and me. So we've talked about intellect and we've talked about imagination. Now what about the emotions? Well, the emotions are extremely important because if you don't know how to deal with emotions, it's really hard to actually help people transform. And I'm not talking about you being a guru sitting up in front of a huge audience. I'm talking about you interacting with different people, one-on-one, 1 on 10, 1 on 100, but one-on-one is first. We know that emotions are the things that they kind of trip people up. People are afraid of emotions. Things like fear, sadness, grief, and just resignation. If you can't speak to that and deal with it, you're going to have a little bit of a difficult time being effective helping someone. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we can help them through their emotional blocks. Well, what about intuition? This is how we know, of course, without knowing what we know. Some of the best work that people do is through intuition. You know, some people say they received it just all of a sudden they knew what they were supposed to do. They had an aha moment. Or that they could visualize a series of books or a series of lectures or a series of interactions with a person that really make an impact. And when you find which ideas and which actions make an impact, you do that more. And those actions that don't make an impact, you do them less, so that you're always becoming better and better. A friend of mine used to say, you're always becoming good and gooder. So this should be evidence, is just how powerful this stuff is and how much it works. What about the person's physical body? Well, you don't have to sit too long, or you don't let them sit around too long. And I get people to utilize their bodies with you helping them. Sometimes they become stagnant and stuck and just feel like they're, trying to walk through Jell-O or through peanut butter. They become very ineffective. Get people moving around. Do a light stretch, a little yoga, creative movement. You can try role-playing, posture exercises, and games. These are what energize people, and they help work wonders. Get people up and get them moving. Awareness and choice. You're aware of what you feel like, the thoughts you think, and your emotions. You can choose where to place your awareness, where to place your focus. Right now, you're maybe not aware of what you're feeling, what your left foot's feeling, or your right hand. Then I can say, become aware of this, and you can focus on your foot or your hand. So you can choose to be aware of your thoughts and your emotions, and you can choose to change those thoughts and emotions whenever you want. If you got a bad thought, all you got to do is say, stop it. Stop. Most people are not aware, and they don't exercise the proper choice of their life to their, what they're producing, what they want. There are exercises to help people expand awareness by using their will in a positive and effective way. I just wanted you to see some of these ideas of how you can help others, but have you caught on to it? Who are you really helping the most? That's right. You're helping yourself become more effective, learn more, learn faster, help your family, help your church, help your neighborhood, and help your country. I'm George Flynn. You've been watching In-Depth TV. We'll see you next time.